Canelo and Triple G, that's a big one. And these guys are both working this routine about we will not leave it in the hands of the judges. And the reason was the judges had screwed the first fight up so colossally bad. They tried to steal it from Triple G. They did steal the win from him. I mean, coming in at a draw was outrageous, but you guys will, of course, remember the Adeline Bird situation, which wouldn't have had people's feathers up quite as much if there was a repercussion, right? The cover-up is always worse than the crime. So when Nevada came to her defense and covered for her, that's when you really had the talking point, which now, as time goes by, the bettors all lost their money. The integrity of boxing was called in. But those are really short. Those are really short. Short-lived memories. But you do remember the controversy. Even though you may not have remembered what her scorecard was or even the name Adeline Bird, you will remember that there was controversy. So to use part of that storyline to build into the narrative, Triple G, who's been more outspoken about it than Canelo, is saying, I cannot leave it in the hands of the judges. They already tried to rob me once. I'm going back to the same jurisdiction. I can't let that happen again. Now, that is just talk. That is just marketing. So as soon as Triple G said it, well, then Canelo's got to come out and go, well, I'm not going to leave it in the hands of the judges. I'm going to knock this guy out. And they've had some fun with it. But they're both lying. Both of them have a certain amount of energy. Both of them know they need to spread that energy over 12 rounds. Both of them know the opponent can go 12 rounds and withstand their onslaught for 12 rounds because the opponent has already done it. So they're not going to be looking for the kill. They're going to be using and saving that energy. The kill may come. The knockout may come. But they won't be looking for it. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. The entire narrative of finished fights, I think that you can have some fun when both guys are looking to finish fights. When neither guy is trying to play it safe. Those fights aren't as fun to watch. But we don't have to see the actual finish. We just need to see guys trying to finish, meaning they're using their energy, they're using their power, they're using their strategy. They're not holding back. They're not playing a round system. They're not laying on top and trying to hold the other one down. Body, head. They're trying to posture up. They're trying to use power. They're looking for it. The other guy's got his defenses. And now you have a back-and-forth battle. But in boxing, more particularly than MMA, it's a bit of a snooze fest anyway. And this isn't me coming out and burying boxing. I'm going to watch the fight. I look forward to it. And I like boxing a lot. But it is a little bit of a snooze fest in terms of both guys only have two weapons. You got a left hand, you got a right hand. And you can only hit two parts of the body. You can hit him in the stomach. You can hit him in the head. Right? The torso or the head. Maybe a better way to say that. So it's a little bit limited. And then when they do a boxing card, it's top heavy. There is no featured card. There is no standout promoted co-main event or main card. It's top heavy in the main event. So when you put up with the treacherous evening that is known as a night of boxing that even a live ticket holder will not show up to because it is like watching grass grow, they only come in for the main event. When you take that all into consideration, listen, that focus group of the live arena that only shows up for the main event because everything else is so painfully boring to watch, that trickles over to the home viewer as well, which trickles over to me. Which means if I'm going to give up that time in that night and part with my money, I'd like to see a few minutes. I would like to see a few minutes. If it ended in a first-round knockout, it would kind of ruin my night a little bit. Now what do I do? I was planning on setting an hour aside to watch this fight. So, different perspective. You guys don't have to share, but that's where I come from. I wouldn't mind watching this fight go, particularly the first fight. I really like the first fight between these two. And we can talk about the controversy all we want, and I think that we should. There was controversy, and it's fair, and it helped to drum up interest in this rematch. But the actual athletic competition between these guys was great. And even though Triple G won that fight without question, without the crookedness and incompetence, the record books would reflect that when we would be seeing this rematch. Even though that is true, Canelo had some fantastic moments. Canelo all of a sudden late in the fight decides to put his foot down on the gas. for reasons unknown. If he just went for broke and then realized, hey, I got a little bit more energy and I'm finding my targets. Don't you guys remember? There was 4 rounds in there. Canelo was finding the body. He was marching forward. He was setting him up upstairs, coming back to the body. Boom, 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 boom. Touch him upstairs. Boom, boom, back to the body. You guys remember that? Really great moments. Triple G had to deal with it. He had to use that footwork, use that speed, come back to his jab. Boom, 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 boom. Get his own combinations going. It was a great fight. It was a lot of fun. If I had my druthers, I would get 12 more rounds of that. If I could make my choice right now, it has to be that. It has to be that. I'm not talking about a Pacquiao and Mayweather situation where it's 36 boring minutes. I'm talking about fun. Guys getting out there and getting busy. You know, we used to get that in boxing. In the greatest era with the true 4 horsemen. The true 4 horsemen. Hinner, Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, and Duran. Any way you wanted to slice that 4-way dance, you were going to get some fun. And Triple G and Canelo have already given us 36 minutes of action. 36 minutes of fun. Made us wait for the fight, made us see the drama. There is a talking point, and not a lot has been made of it, but is the fact that Canelo failed his drug test. And there is the other question of, did he go straight? If he went straight, there's not going to be a lot to see here. It will be a different fighter. It will affect him physically, and it will affect him psychologically. So we'll see what happened. I never remember that story in full. I can't remember what it was he tested for. And I remember him saying, there's some confusion and I didn't do it. And wasn't he the one that said, maybe I ate some weird meat somewhere and there was like some weird science where you could show if you ate a certain meat, you could, right? Oh, that is exactly what it was. That Mexican meat, that's exactly what it was. Something goofy. But nobody's really made anything about that. So I don't know that I will either. If the boxing people aren't, and they're more in the know of this, I think I'm going to let it go too. I think we're going to have a good fight. It's going to be a good boxing match. I haven't got to see a good boxing match in a long time. Biggest drama I've seen in boxing all year. All year, ever since Floyd and Conor. For me, that I saw. But is when that goofball Harper jumped out of the ring 1 second in and just walked off. The hottest topic in boxing that I can remember in all of 2018. Triple G actually fought at some point in 2018. The night Canelo pulled out. I can't remember who he fought. I don't mean to slide that opponent, but anticipation of boxing, it's just a slower build. Just a lot more things that seem to have to come together. And as much as that may have sounded negative, it was meant as a positive because all those things are coming together. They're coming together tomorrow night. And I'm pumped for it.